the average like sandwich. Just gonna put a few of them here.
So in Space Elevator, are there standardized sizes for things like walls? Like,
Yes.
okay, good.
Duplicate and now rotate.
Okay, you are definitely a power user.
In architecture school, all the students wanted to just design like weird looking architecture because that's what you dream of when you're a student. And then we had this dean who would come in and be like, where's the front door? I really like to start with just the basic front door. Okay, so people go in, and then I really love to have a vestibule if we can afford one. So I just copy that wall and it copied with a door. So you get in, and then here I was just adding some of our parametric shelves. So we just gonna say, okay, these are some shelves where people can just like put their stuff on. And I was also just getting this guy and adding a few people around. Well, one of the new features that we have is actually scaling everything, so check it out. You can now like make him like tiny. And the other thing here that I really like to put in just for scale is like this card. It's really important to just have things for scale, otherwise put like the woman, so see she's the right size sort of. And then I also like to, just before going, like kind of setting up the basic stuff of the scene in terms of scale before going too much with the architecture. So a car, a few people, and then some trees. I just want to quickly add some bigger trees. We have added some really cool trees that are kind of exotic. So my two favorite trees are dragon tree, baobab tree, and then pine trees. I'm gonna add some pine trees. They're absolutely like ridiculously large. So I live very close to the Black Forest in the south of Germany, and I can testify that this is how big they are. It's just a bit unlikely that they would be right here. But I do like to drop a few of them just to like have some stuff in the scene. So you see, even without doing much architecture, there's already a sense of place and stuff happening. And then I also want to show you, and you probably know about this, but like this view. So this is what we call the sandbox, and it's a duplicate of the whole scene. If you go into this button here, you can like basically grab any of these things and like move them around, and they will move into like both scenes. I use this a lot if I want to like move things around very quickly. So here, see, I can just like rearrange these trees or like make them lower super fast. So you can also, as I said, like move stuff around here. So if, let's say, I want to move that wall, I can go ahead and move it through the 1:1 scale gizmo, or I can just like move it here. So see, this is the wall. This is the wall. On this side, this is that wall. Okay, so now that we have some stuff, let's just go back to do this. I don't really want a wall here. What I did earlier is I just put a hole. I wish I could make this an arch. Like that's something that I would like to add in the future, so that you can have arch openings. Arches are much nicer than this. Okay. So I just want to quickly map out a larger area here that can act as our living room. So the living room has to be much wider than that vestibule. I'm gonna put a roof on it very quickly. Okay.
So is it easy to put a staircase to make that like an upstairs writing loft?
Yes, let's try that next. The other thing that's super important to just do like really quickly, just as a placeholder, and you can like fuss with it later, are windows. Which are the ones that I really like? This one. So I'm just gonna tom through here. I like to make them like kind of grand. And we can also change, like discuss like how we want the light to come in and where the light is coming in from. You're supposed to get the proportion and the feel and the shape of the architecture done in VR. You export a file and then you go into whatever favorite screen-based software you have, and that's where you do alignments and everything.
Yeah, I think because when I first used Space Elevator, I came in like really OCD, right? Like this has to line up, and thinking about it as a sketch tool is much more freeing, it makes more sense.
Okay, stair. So, are we doing marble or like Brooklyn Loft? Abandoned warehouse.
Loft.
Loft. Okay, this one. I like the idea that this guy, right, like it's like he has a floor up there. Let me duplicate this. So he has this floor up there. And maybe that's where his study is. This ceiling is too low. So I'm gonna duplicate this again and take this up. Okay, so the idea is that you come in. Let me quickly save again in case I get disconnected. You come in. There's some kind of space in here that maybe is the main entertaining space. I'm not sure yet. There's some nice light coming from the right. And you go up here, and this is that, that kind of half level that you have in this kind of Brooklyn Loft spaces. I kind of like this low, but I want windows here.
So while you're working, when you're happy with this, Andrea, you can export it?
Yes. You can export this as a GLB, like a 3D file, and just bring it into Blender, Unity, whatever you want. Maybe we need some kind of color. Okay, so the idea is that our guy is here. Let's also put some more context. So it's gonna help. Furniture, sofas. But the idea is that he's here. Tables. I really like this red desk.
See, I'm already learning a lot about this guy because apparently he has young friends that can carry those couches up those stairs.
He also has like a bathtub in here. Like he likes to, you know how a lot of writers that I know actually write in the bathtub? So he has a bathtub in here to look in the other way. But he's here working and he has this view into, see how he's seeing all the way through the main door. So he's seeing everyone that comes in through the door. He's seeing everything that's happening in this living room space. And he's also seeing outside. Now, just to be a super architect, we need to make sure that we have head clearance in here. So we need to make sure that someone who's, we need to have 2.4 meters from this step all the way to this edge. And if you're like super serious about it, you would just like push that back a little bit. Push this edge a little bit just to make sure you have that head clearance there on the staircase. That looks pretty good. Okay, so obviously lots more to be designed in here with the walls, but I think we have a pretty good basis. I want to fly out a bit. Alright, so it's starting to look like some kind of modern building. It has 3 spaces with a nice hierarchy and relationship to each other. So the tiny vestibule, the big space, and his working area up here. And it's looking pretty solid. And that was like, I don't know, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
So you want to know what I really liked about that demo? Was it get in like 15 minutes, I was able to get a sense of certainly what you like. I was able to get a sense that you like a vestibule and you like a space after, you like to be able to see out through the front door, and that there's some certain architectural considerations for headroom. And there was just a bunch of stuff. In the space of 15 minutes, I got a sense of like where you were coming from with your, and I would imagine with an actual client, you would have the ability to go back and forth and go, well, I don't like to see the outside. I'm a client. I don't want to see the outside world. I'll set up a little Ring camera to do that. I don't want to see it. I like enclosure. So it was fascinating. I mean, just within that quick prototype, you were able to actually impart some philosophies, not just here's 4 walls and they're 6 feet apart, right?